Okay, let's check that we're live. Live. Okay, so live streaming, even though I can't see it on here. Let me just go in there. Okay, we are live. For some reason it's got the wrong graphic up, but never mind. I'll change that at the end. Okay. So minimize, let's go in there. Okay. Welcome. So it's a couple of days late. It's just the way it goes. We weave and we weave. Okay, so this is the talk about Equirria, which I was going to do on Monday or Tuesday, I think. It's now Thursday. So, welcome all. Paper floating around in my book. So, one of the books that we use quite a lot, celebrating weekend spirituality. It's really good. I love this book, and as you can see, and it's falling apart. It's like you open it and the pages come apart, so it's well used. But what's really cool about this book is that it gives you loads of different ideas of, you know, things you can mark as the wheel turns. Yeah. So one of the things, because something that we're finding ourselves at the moment, hence why I'm wearing my tourmaline at the moment, is there's invasive energies, yeah, which can try and get in at the moment. And generally, we are pretty well protected in our home. But sometimes when you go out there, things can try and get in, yeah. So extra layer of, when I say protection, it's not from a fear-based perspective. It's that you don't want anything messing with your natural frequency. Does that make sense? And these things to try and get in are a lower, they're a denser energy. Okay, so that's kind of where we start at when you're talking about protection. It's not coming from a fear-based perspective, okay, because you are incredibly powerful creative beings. Okay, so this is going to be so it's going to be a little bit of me talking on camera, and then I'm going to go and show you some stuff on websites where you can find this stuff, okay, like things like Seals of Solomon, things like that. So Equirria was a Roman festival held in honor of the god Mars. So obviously that connects to the planet Mars. So it was a festival, sorry, there was a festival of Mammalia also recorded for this date, but they say it's unclear if this was a separate thing or if they were together. Yeah. The 14th of March also celebrates the runic half month of Beorc, B-E-O-R-C. So I'm probably not saying that correctly, but I have. Ruled by the goddess of the birch tree associated with Frigga. So it's also it's a pagan thing. It's not a It's not specific to Rome, but it is a pagan thing. So this is a time of symbolic purgation. So purging, banishing what you don't need. Yeah. So this is why this is perfect for now. Yeah. Because we are getting rid of all the old rubbish. If you look at the, was it yesterday? I've done so many videos recently. But there was I was talking in one of my videos about, it's like you're clearing away, you know, all the, you know, the huge piles of paperwork you've got festering in the corner of your room. Yeah. So you're clearing out what you don't need, what doesn't serve you, and what you're left with is the little gems. Yeah, the stuff you keep. So this is a time of symbolic purgation in preparation for the new beginnings of spring, summer, ascension energy, you know, whatever you want to call that. So that's the whole reason for this video. Okay, so tourmaline is an amazing, now there is a video that I did, if I can find it I'll put it up here at the end. Tourmaline being an amazing crystal for ascension. Black tourmaline is an amazing ascension crystal. But I have done a video on it, and like I say, I'll link it up here somewhere at some point when it's done. So Mars, so let's have a little bit of a chat about Mars. So most people get the wrong idea about Mars. Yeah, I'll put myself in that bracket. I used to have the wrong idea about Mars. Now when I had my soul realignment reading, I actually had I can't remember, it was that there was an aspect of Mars that was part of my soul, which kind of explained to me how I was at that point before I did my clearing. But what I've noticed is I still have the ability to tap into the energy of Mars when I need to. So Mars isn't this god of war. Yeah, it's never black and white, is it? Yeah, there are many layers and it's shades of grey. So one of the things you can use Mars for is protection, for courage, for shielding. Yeah. But it's a very dynamic energy. So if you want to get something done, Mars energy. Yeah. And if you want to get something that Mars is really good at, actually, you can tap the energy of Mars for things like sewing, believe it or not. It's very cool. So yeah, Mars is the warrior energy, but it's also around determination. It does link to, along with the sun and Jupiter on some aspects, it links to the third chakra, the Manipura chakra. Yeah, so that is your divine will. Yeah. Courage, passion, blood. Mars is very important in relation to blood. Yeah. But it does, so it connects with it would actually connect to the first 4 chakras: root, sacral, solar plexus, heart. It connects the heart because it connects to the passion, but in a way that relates to the heart. Yeah. Yes, there are negative aspects, as there are in everything in this particular dualistic reality. Yeah. So that can come across as being ruthless, destructive, and brutal. But when it's in balance, Mars is a really positive energy. Yeah. And like I say, you can use it for protection, shielding, all that kind of stuff. It also corresponds to the Kundalini energy. Pardon me. Also the alchemical process of separation. So it absolutely 100% ties into the energy of sifting out the stuff you don't want. So it's like we've only really talked about this in our group of people. I haven't done a video on it yet, but as we move through this ascension process, it's like we're being put through a sieve, and this is something we got near the end of last year. And Ian did a diagram for it as well. So it's like we're being put through a sieve, shaking out, separating all the stuff that is no longer relevant, which, to be honest, is a lot of the stuff that we have grown up with and been programmed by. Yeah. So obviously Mars being red, iron. That's why it links to the blood. And I'll talk about the crystals that are related to that as well. So iron is a conduit to the other world, to the underworld as well, to those. So it's a really good iron specifically is a really good way. It's like a conduit to move through the veil. Okay. So it obviously relates to Tuesday, as in Thursday, Tuesday. I forget what the one is for Tuesday. Anyway, numbers 5 and 27. So in tarot, that's the Tower and the 5s. When you're doing the Tree of Life, Cross of Light, it relates to Gebura, yeah, which is strength or severity in the shadow aspect. Yeah. Iron, separation. So I'm just reading. Creatures, horses, fox, rams, robins, scorpions. Apart from bees, because they relate to breed, or stinging insects as well. So you get, so if something stings you, it has something that looks like a needle. Yeah, so that's why it corresponds to needlework, sewing. Yeah, fascinating. That's it. I'm going to talk about the crystals in a bit, and also I've got Mars corresponding incense and oils that I'm going to talk a little bit about as well. The healing plants of Mars: hawthorn, nettle, sarsaparilla, basil. So if you think of Mars as corresponding to the red stuff in your body, so blood, muscles, yeah. So carnelian is a really good crystal for to bring in those together, yeah. Your sex organs, gallbladder, and your astral body as well. When it comes to your mind, it's about how much your mind is engaged with something. Yeah, so again, really good for at the moment, because if you can get your heart to be the foundation of your mind, then you're there. Okay. What else? That's about it on that particular bit. So I'm going to talk a little bit about book shadows. Well, this is my recipe book actually. So what we've got, planetary blends, Mars, page 14. I have to index my recipes, otherwise I can't find them. It takes me ages. So if you want to tap the energy of Mars, so this could be something you use on its own or in ritual, or to charge your talisman. Yeah, we'll get on to talisman in a minute. You would use all or some of these. It's not like you have to use all of these ingredients. No, you can use whatever you've got in this list. Okay, so we've got nettle, black pepper, peppermint, pine needles, tobacco, wormwood, allspice, basil, benzoin, dragon's blood, galangal, garlic, ginger. So I put all of those in, and you can experiment with the quantities of that. I'm not sure if we've got this one up for sale on our website at the moment, but definitely keep checking back, because as our enterprise grows, we'll add more of these things. So that's some of the ingredients you can use in a Mars incense. Yeah, and the oil blend that we use. Again, I'm not going to give you the quantities, just you can experiment with that yourself. So we've got benzoin, pine, ginger, black pepper, coriander, galangal. Yeah. So that's the essential oils. And if you're buying essential oils, please make sure you buy proper essential oils, not these weird things that say they are and they're actually synthetic. Because when you burn them, they are quite revolting. And if you're making incense blends, use natural things. Yeah, don't use. I've seen some very weird practices in people making incense and using things that they're not natural. So that's your Mars incense and Mars oils. What you can do, excuse me, itchy nose, when you make your Mars oil, you can actually add it to your incense as one of the last things you do in the process of making it. If you want to know how to make incense, we cover all of that and planetary stuff in our Witchcraft for the Curious Novice course. Now at the moment, sign-ups are on hold because we've got the first lesson coming up next week. And then the enrollment for the second lesson, I think that'll be available from the 30th of March. So I will let you guys know on here when that's ready. Okay, so we're going to go off now and just hang on. So I can't see over my dial there. Where is it? No, it's disappeared. Okay, so we're going to go off and have a look. Let's get rid of that. I don't need that open. So here's a few crystals you can use to tap into the energy of Mars. Okay, just check that is. Yes, it is. So bogie stones. When you, for want of a better word, store bogie stones, don't have them touching because they're very, very powerful stones. So keep them away from each other. Yeah, you have a masculine and a feminine when it comes to the bogie stone. They're highly protective and energizing, so they will activate your root chakra, which is your connection. You get your connection to divine source energy through the root chakra. Okay, so they will energize you, and they are very protective, and they will also unblock. They will unblock anything that is blocking. So they are extremely powerful. Yeah. We have Cephtonite, which is a type of bloodstone. So you can use these for grounding, also for healing. If you're lacking discipline in something, you can use them to get you motivated. Yeah. And they also help with energy flow because they connect with the blood. So they're really good at getting that energy flowing. Okay. Now I've got rhodonite in here because they balance. And rhodonite has quite, if you get a really good piece, like the piece I've got there, I'm actually wearing that now. Been wearing it for a few months now, just to kind of balance the heart chakra. So rhodonite is amazing at calming. It's a very calming stone. And it balances. So what it does is it gets you into that space of being able to stand in the middle of chaos and just let that chaos move around you without, you know, it's that middle, that center, that middle pillar. Yeah. That's the place that you come to when you are using rhodonite. Okay. And then we have bloodstone, which is the green. So bloodstone is usually green with the red, whereas cephtonite doesn't necessarily have the green. Yeah. So bloodstone is really good at getting rid of negative energy. Yeah. It's a powerful banisher of negative energy. It's also very good at healing the blood. And if you've ever had a crystal that like vibrates in your hand or moves in your hand, bloodstone would be one of these, because it will actually give you a warning of danger. So with these crystals, you can either wear them or have them in your pocket in a bag, for example, or you could grid your home with them. So something like bogie stones would be really good, for example, at your front door. Yeah. Bloodstone would be really good to grid your whole home with, or just your bedroom, for example, or just around your bed. If you wanted to tap the power, that healing power when you sleep, then you could do that. Something else you can use, actually, which is really, really good. So it was about 3 years ago, Ian made these, what would you call them? They're like grounding mats. Yeah. And basically what it was, so it's a bit like it works a bit like a med bed, actually, because we've got copper around our bed as well. So we've got the copper. We're on a very thin, it's about 1 inch thick mattress of amber and mustard seed. So amber is a natural conductor of energy. Okay. And then we lay on these like grounding mats. And these grounding mats, they're basically natural material, natural cotton. Yeah. Which is layered with steel wire wool. Like very not the really thick stuff, it's quite fine. Yeah. So you layer it, you can buy it in rolls. So you just roll it out and layer it, as many layers as you want. I mean, the more layers, the better it'll work. Yeah. And you can make it as big as you want or as small as you want. We've got some small ones that you can wrap around limbs, and then we've got the bigger ones that we lay on, yeah, when we're asleep. But that's the energy of a conductive material, yeah, which is it's still wild wool. But you could equally use, if you wanted to tap the energy of water, you could use copper wire wool. Yeah. So there's lots of different ways that you can tap this Mars energy. Okay. And there are so many crystals that you could use for this. Another one that would be really good would be hematite, and that's magnetic as well. Other red crystals, carnelian, like I said, because that connects to the blood, the muscles, the ligaments and tendons in the body. Yeah. Red jasper would be another one. So any crystal that exhibits that blood red color as well would be amazing. If you ever come across the old red brick buildings and there's a piece of the red brick on the floor, pick it up. Yeah, highly conductive because it contains iron. Yeah. We've over the years, whenever we go to like an amazing place or an ancient site, if we can pick up a piece of that from the floor, then generally we do. And we've actually got a piece of stone that's in our bathroom, which is I think we have got some red, and it's like, because in some parts of the UK the earth is very red where it contains the iron. That would be Wells. That would have been when we got that from. How do I know that? Because if you go to Chalice Well, yeah, in Glastonbury, the water that comes from the springs has a red tinge because it contains high amounts of iron. I mean, even, you know, if you can get hold of an iron key, for example, you can consecrate and dedicate that for a specific purpose. Yeah. And bring in the energy of Mars. There are so many ways that you can do this. Yeah. Okay, one of my favorite things to do is to use camia. Yeah. So these are the magic squares for different planets. Yeah. So you can go to this address here, goodgame.org.nz/camias.html. Yeah. And it's even on this one, it's even got it's got Neptune and Neptune, which one's this? Pluto. And a lot of books don't have these in. I think Chiron's here as well. What's that one? It's quite a cool one, actually. That's the Earth. And a lot of them don't have the Earth one in there. Okay, so this is a really good site for the camia. That's Mercury, Venus, Sun, and Mars. So how you would use these, yeah, is you would say you're creating a talisman for a specific intention, for example. So you would write out your phrase using super specific wording, yeah. Wording that, you know, if you know anything about using words as spells in manifesting, then you would know about, you know, what words to choose. So you would write out your phrase, and some people use all of the letters, some people just use the consonants, Some people use, don't use repeating consonants. It's entirely up to you how you do it. And then you would use the numbers. So you would take your numerology correspondences for 1 to 9 with each letter, if that makes sense. And you would create your sigil using the cameo. Yeah. So let me show you how you can do this. So this is an amazing app. Yeah. So if you want a very quick sigil, go to chaostarot.com/app. And this is amazing. Yeah. I've been using this. Yeah. If I need a really quick sigil and haven't got time to sit and draw it all out, I use this. Yeah. So if we go to Magic Square, and then here, and this bit here tells you which symbol is for which planet. Yeah. So we're going to choose Mars. Okay. And just type in your intent here. So, for example, what should we put in here? I request protection from harm, for example. Yeah. So here you have, if you want to add the vowels, you can. Yeah. It shows you there. Let's take them out. If you want to double up on the consonants, it creates a different pattern. Yeah. You can change the colors, you can change the thickness of the line. So say 15, it creates a thicker line. So it's a really good little tool. It's a powerful tool, actually. So that's the sigil for that particular phrase. Yeah. So that's chaostarot.com/app. So that's one way that you can use the energy of Mars for protection. So what would you then do with this sigil, for example? Yeah. Well, you could make a small one to carry with you. You could, if you change the lettering, I request protection from harm. So let's I request protection for my home, for example. Yeah. So you could put that, if you were doing something like that, you could put it over your front door. Yeah. You could make one. So for example, for my property. Yeah. I can spell it properly. Yeah. And you could bury that. You could bury that at the entrance of your property, for example. Yeah. So you can make your own sigils using this app or using these cameo. Yeah. Or if you want to go down the traditional route, we have, if you go to carolinaconjure.com/seals of Solomon, yeah, you've got the pentacles, the seals of Solomon. So you've got all the you've got, go to the top of the page. So it tells you at the top of the page how to make them, yeah, when to make them, what I usually tended to do was make them, if I was using if I was creating a seal of Mars, I would do it on a Tuesday in one of the Mars hours. Yeah. So it was charged even while I was creating it, it was being charged with that energy of Mars. Does that make sense? But you don't have to do that. You can just make it on a Tuesday, or you can just make it on another day in a Mars hour. Yeah. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seals of Mars. Yeah. 7 pentacles of Mars. Now, these particular images aren't that big. So what you can do is you can go on a Google search for that and get a bigger version, print it off. You can either use them printed off as they are, or you can redraw them, which is something that we used to do, because then it's got your energy in that. Yeah. So the first Pentacle of Mars is for courage, ambition, enthusiasm, and anything on the physical level that you want to accomplish. Yeah. Second, and these are Hebrew alphabet. Now, if you've got a decent magical book, you'll be able to find these. So they're not always clear, yeah, when you print these out from the internet. But if you've got the Hebrew alphabet in a magical book, then, you know, it's very easy to copy them from that book. Yeah. So the second Pentacle of Mars is really good with success against any kind of energy blocks. So we don't use that word. Yeah. Because all disease, all illness comes from blockage of energy in the body. Yeah. Which is connected to the mind. So there's a very intimate connection between the mind and the body when it comes to illness and disease. Yeah. So if you're feeling an energy block, which is manifesting as pain or something wrong, then you can apply this particular Pentacle of Mars to the body. Yeah. I mean, what I would kind of suggest, if you're using these seals of Solomon, you go through over a period of time and you create, you know, the ones that you feel most drawn to, and you keep them in a, I don't know, in a pouch or something to use whenever you need to. And it's usually, you know, if you recharge them once a year, then they'll stand you in good stead. It kind of depends where you sit with this kind of thing, really. Some people like to use them. They're a really good place to start, in my opinion, you know, for using sigils. And they're an amazing place to start. I mean, what I found is that I just wanted a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? I suppose I wanted a little bit more creative kind of input, which is why now we make our own. But really good place to start with these, okay? And they are powerful. So the third Pentacle of Mars, really good for, I mean, the wording they use here, yeah, is quite strong, yeah. But what this pentacle would do, it would reflect back to anyone who is throwing hostility, wrath, and discord at you. What it would do is it would just bounce that straight back to them. So it's creating a shield, yeah. So this one's really good for shielding. Okay. Fourth Pentacle of Mars is around victory in any kind of battle. So that could be battle of mind. It's very rare these days that we'll be in a physical battle, because we're not in an age where, you know, we don't walk around, generally speaking. You know, people don't walk around. I mean, back in medieval times, just about everyone walked around with some kind of sword or knife on them. Yeah, that doesn't happen these days, no matter what the media says. All right. So that's the fourth Pentacle of Mars. Okay. Fifth Pentacle of Mars. So this is where you're getting into a more left-hand path side of things. Yeah. Causing all demons to obey the wishes of the possessor of this powerful seal. Okay. So we'll just look at that word. Yeah. That word, as it's spelt there, is a very Abrahamic take on what's good and what's bad. Yeah. So what this actually means, yeah, this is like calling on a deity or conjuring a servitor to go and do your bidding. Yeah. Now that's the calling of deity, normal. Yeah, perfectly normal. And you can actually use this with the spirits of Mars to actually go and do your bidding for you, if that's what you want to do. Yeah. Conjuring servitors, that's a little bit more, it's not something myself and Ian do, to be honest, because we don't see any need for it. But there are people that do. And one of the guys that talks about this is his channel is Mind and Magic. So if you want to find out more about conjuring servitors, then go and check out Mind and Magic. Frater Xavier, his name is, and he can tell you about it. I mean, we don't do that because it's not what we want to do. But if that is something you feel like you want to kind of play with, be careful what you wish for, and go and check out Mind and Magic, Frater Xavier. Okay. Sixth Pentacle of Mars. So this again is like a shield. Yeah. And it works a bit like fire agate. That's another one that actually corresponds to Mars. And you could actually, when you are charging this, you could use fire agate in the middle of it or on these points to actually charge it with the energy of fire agate. So it's a double whammy. Yeah. Because what it does, this is one that you would carry on you, for example, yeah, as a talisman, like our ancient ancestors used to carry these kinds of things, yeah. So if someone tried to attack you physically, mentally, spiritually, yeah, all it would do is it would bounce off of you and go back to them, yeah. Basically, their attack would be turned back on them, yeah. Powerful, okay. And then the last one, the seventh Pentacle of Mars. I like this one. This one's very cool. So what you would do when you create this one is you would set the intention, and you can set, when you're charging your Seals of Solomon, you can set it that when you press it and you say, for example, these names, L and Yai, I think that's how you pronounce that. When you press it and say that, it then activates. Yeah. So if you were in a situation where you needed to confuse someone who was trying to attack you, yeah, you would, that's how I would use this. You would press and you would activate it so that energy went out to whoever it was that was trying to cause you harm, yeah, in any way, shape or form. Yeah. And what all that is it's a shield. That's what these things are. Yeah. They're a shield. They're a reflector. They are a mirror. So it mirrors that stuff back right to where it came from. Yeah. So the only harm that comes to those people is the harm that they are throwing at you. Yeah. And mirror, like the whole magic around using mirrors and reflecting back to people, it's shielding magic. That's all it is. Yeah. It's not attack, it's defensive. Okay. Not there's anything wrong with, you know, magic that you use to attack, but you need to be very clear on why you're doing that. Yeah. But defensive magic, it's brilliant. It's fantastic. So that's the Seals of Solomon. And I think, in fact, wow, that's it. That's basically all I really wanted to talk about. So if you wanted to create one of these seals and use it, it does, like I say, if you go to the top of this page, carolinaconjure.com, yeah, /seals-of-Solomon, it gives you a little bit of an idea of how to do it. Yeah. Now we have got a video on the, I think we've got a couple of the Seals of Solomon where we show you how to charge them. So all you would do is you would use that as a template, yeah, but just insert whichever seal in there and change the wording accordingly, yeah. So that's how you would do that. It can be a big ritual, or it can just be you with a candle, some incense, and your intention and your words. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be as complicated and as intricate as you want it to be. Okay. Pardon me. Now, was there anything else? I don't think there was, you know. Let's just come back. So I'm not sure how long this has been going. I've got a thing up here. Let's have a quick look, see how long. No. I can't get that up. Never mind. So anyway, I hope this has helped. If you don't want to use the energy of Mars, there is a Jupiter protection ritual, which is on this channel. You can always use that instead if you prefer, you know, because it's what works for you. It's what feels right for you. It's what resonates for you. Yeah. So if Mars energy doesn't resonate for you, then Jupiter is the other one you can use for protection. Yeah. And it is very, very powerful. So you can use Jupiter instead if you prefer that. And there is a video. Scroll through the videos because I know it's there. And you can use the energy of Jupiter instead. But I hope this has helped you anyway. And I hope this gives you little peace of mind, yeah, when it comes to, not letting the bullshit out there, the created illusion out there in, yeah, because you can choose not to let it in 100%. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go until I see you in the next video. Stay fearless.